Yeah. Anyways, guys, I mean, that's it, right? Like, this had to end sometime. We can't hold it against Campbell. We can't hold it against the boys. You're gonna have a rough night. Really, all they had was a rough period. They had a rough first period, and I'd even say like the rough last 5 minutes of the game too. I think because by that point, I think their frustrations kicked in, and they kind of couldn't pull themselves back out of it. You know what I mean? But straight up, like they played a great game. At times, some great offense from the Leafs. Even some good defensive plays, some amazing saves from Campbell. You know, there's a couple things that really bother me though. Okay, these are things that it's not just specific to the Leafs. I'm telling you, this is an NHL trend. Okay, there are two things that really bother me about tonight's game, and they led to us losing. Okay, both of them. But all teams do this, from what I see. So many teams in the NHL. Okay, first things first, the defensemen pinch for offense in a tie game. I don't get it. I never have. I never will. And they're doing it more and more often now. That I think it was the third goal there, right? Brody creeps in from the point to try and get a shot. And I think he even got the shot away, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure he even got the shot away. Either it was a rebound or a deflection or something, and starts kicking back the other way. Now you got a 2-on-1, and Brody can never quite catch up to take his man. You know, it's a tie game. I don't care if the puck's loose and you can get to it first. When it's that far up, it's practically at the face-off dot at that point. If you got to go that far in to get it, don't get it. Not in a tie game. I don't understand. It's such an offense-heavy league now, and I really feel like they just sacrifice so much defense to get those goals. And I don't get why. Oh, jeez. Hey, KC, you know what this is about. You always do this. But to any of the newcomers, hey, if you want to follow along, they'll set that alarm off, okay? And subs and stuff like that, and cheer alerts and all that stuff, they always scare the crap out of me, okay? They're cranked super loud, and I'll even make sure that they're extra, extra loud for you guys, okay? There's a super secret, really, really loud one. And I don't want to say which one, because that's probably the easiest one. Oh, jeez. And that chug the bottle there is for Gable. Don't worry, it's just water. Got to stay hydrated during these COVID times, folks. You know what I mean? But yeah, so you're blocked by Kulak is probably what happened after that shot there from Brody. And yeah, look, boom, gets blocked, goes the other way, 2-1-1. And I don't get why push in on a 2-2 tie. You don't need to go that far in as a defenseman. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you've got the puck and you end up on the rush somehow, hey, go all the way deep in the corner. Have a forward cover your point. I don't care. That makes sense to me. But if you're already on the blue line where you're supposed to be and that puck comes trickling out loose, even if you can get to it first, there's got to be a line that's just too far to risk it in a 2-on-2 or a two-goal tie. You know what I mean? I would say the face-off circle has got to be at least too far, right? That's if you're not drawing a line there. I don't know what you're thinking. I think this one was a little further out than that though. But still, man, I don't know. It just looked too risky. Too risky to me. I wouldn't have done it. But then again, I'm a fat guy who doesn't play hockey anymore and haven't for quite some time. So what do I know, right? Just saying, personally, I wouldn't want to see that. And the other thing that really bothers me about what the Leafs did tonight was pulling the goalie with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Pulling the goalie with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, right? I mean, that's another trend. Look at it. Ever since Patrick Roy pulled his goalie with 6 minutes left or whatever it was, or 10 minutes left when he was down like 19 goals or whatever it was. It's a lot of paraphrasing going on here, but you know what I mean. Ever since Patrick Roy did that, the time that people pull their goalies has gotten more and more and more. And maybe there's stats to show that if you don't pull your goalie soon enough, you really don't have much effective time. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care about your stupid stats. I know that. Oh, why don't we just pull him at 5 minutes, huh? I mean, if you're down a goal, why don't you just pull him right away? That we have the rest of the game to try and tie it back up. Right? Where are you statisticians on that, right? Oh, well, if we maximize our time by adding even more time to the time with no goalie, then we'll probably score more goals. No, in fact, you'll give up more goals. Yes, you increase the time that you have to try and score one, but at what cost, man? At what cost? These are NHL fans, or these are NHL players, and a lot of them can hit the net from behind the net. You know? Empty net opportunity. I've done it. I did it for the kids I coach, man. My son's team. We were just goofing around. We would play this game called golf sometimes, right? And like you start up on the opposite goal line, and you just take turns and you fire it down, right? As far as you can. They're kids. They can't even get to the blue line most times, right? But then you go up to your next shot, and then you know what I mean? In these COVID times, they can't be playing contact stuff because they might sweat on each other and spit on each other. Who knows what else, right? So we play golf sometimes on the ice, right? It's fun. They love it. And just for fun, one time I was just like, whoa. I was right at the opposite goal line, like center ice. Okay, I launched it down, and I could put it in an empty net down the other side. I mean, not every time, but a lot of times I can do it. So if I can do it, I mean, imagine what these NHL guys can do. I know there's the speed and the chaos of a game, but let's be real here. You know, league minimum to be in the NHL, you better be able to put it into an open net from the other side of the rink. Again, not going to happen every time, but you better be at least be able to do it. You know what I mean? You have to be able to do it. And they did. And they did, because they had 2.5 minutes to try it. And they kept trying it again and again and again. They wasted all those icings. They didn't care. Because why not? It kills time every time. You fire it down. That's an old school technique right there, man. Open net. Right? I know you're supposed to like carry it out and kill time and really, you know, run out the clock and everything like that. Nah, man. Like when you're a little kid, you're taught to just ice it. When it's that close, you just ice it. Who cares? If you have to restart, you have to restart. You know, you shoot it, you try and score, and if not, it's an icing. Whatever. You come back. Right? When you mess around with it, trying to get it out of your own zone, that's when you have a turnover, and that's when it's a 3-on-2 going the other way or any nonsense or whatever. So Montreal handled it perfectly. And with 2.5 minutes, why shouldn't they? So, I mean, again, we can be mad at Keefe for doing this, okay? But this is like, to me, this is like the equivalent of a baseball manager pulling the pitcher when he's got a nice thing going because he reached a silly pitch count limit. You know what I mean? It's guys with stats getting in the way of a good game sometimes. And I can't stand it, man. These stats, so many of these stats, guys, I'm telling you, they are legit. They are legit stats that you can use to paint a better picture of what's going on and figure out how to solve problems better. The problem is too many people don't know the relevance of them yet. They don't know the proper context of the stats they're gathering. Great, so you gathered expected goals against, right? Well, what's expected to you? Okay? Because your idea of expected and my idea of expected may be completely different. So what does that stat mean? I mean, you know what and I keep hearing the same excuse, say, oh, it depends on how close it is to the net, and it depends on which angle it is, and it depends on, like, no one's got a clear answer. What's an expected goal in that stat? You see what I'm saying? So you can interpret it, and if you can interpret it, you can interpret it differently than me, you know? So I don't care what stats they have to show that you should pull your goalie with 2 minutes left, 2.5 minutes left, 9 minutes left. I mean, if you're down multiple goals, that's a different story. If the Leafs pull their goalie tonight with 2:30 left and they're down 2 goals, hey, I get that. About a minute a goal. You know, minute 15 in this case, okay? You know, Montreal's playing pretty hot. Maybe you do need the extra 15 seconds a goal. I understand that if that's the case. But they're only down 1. Only down 1. You only need a minute to score. You know what I mean? You can get down the ice and score in 4 seconds flat from your own zone. You can. NHL players can do that. 4 seconds flat, they can get 2 quick passes at the blue line, fire it up over his shoulder, boom. It can happen. It has happened several times. So straight up, man, I don't understand it. I don't understand why they would do it. But those are the 2 things that bother me. Maybe I'm too old school to understand all the new numbers and everything going on. Can't wait for people to tell me in the chat and the comments and stuff what an idiot I am because I don't understand goals against expected goals against. But I'm telling you, man, a lot of these stats, they don't know the proper context. So they don't know how to use the information to their advantage. And the problem is the coaches are usually the old school hockey guys like me. And they're having to listen to some numbers guy that they just paid $400,000 a month to give them numbers. Okay? They have to listen to that because if they don't, then they have a general manager that's like, hey, you're not listening to the numbers guy. What's up? You know? Like, I'm just saying. So I'm not too mad at how the Leafs played. And again, to the Montreal crew there in the chat, first of all, welcome again. I thank you so much for coming out. But good game as well. Good game as well. And this will not end, without some intensity, I think. Perhaps some violence, right? Was the delights and bitter ends or violent ends thing that Shakespeare said? I don't know. There's a quote there somewhere. Just Google it, okay? Pretend I said it. And that's what I would say about this, all right? So that's what I think about tonight. Not much else to say. But now, as always, I'd like to get into what everyone in the chat is saying, which tonight seems to be full of Habs fans. Hey. So let's see what the Habs fans have to say tonight, okay, guys? And anyone that's watching this on YouTube after the fact, you gotta be here live, son. What are you doing? What are you doing with your lives? Okay? All right. So what are we saying here, guys?